I want to welcome you to the Charles J. Muth Museum at Hinchliffe Stadium. This museum tells the story of not only the stadium, but the role that Paterson played in integrating America, and I'll elaborate on that later. But this day is all about a star that was born on February 16th, I'm not quite sure if she wants me to finish, but it was at Barnard Hospital. The star is a proud Patersonian who went on to Georgetown University. But today we're celebrating her graduation. Her graduation from the school of Paterson's Hard Knocks. Yes, you can applaud, please. She's a BA, getting her BA and her MBA and PhD. Because if you can make it in Paterson, you can make it anywhere. And I'm saddened by the fact that after almost 7 years, she'll be leaving us. But she won't be too far, because I want to remind everyone, this is her hometown. And this is where she was born.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, sir. This is where husband Kevin, the two of them are raising Cormac and Saoirse. And she also asked, did you write a note for them to be excused from school today?
They had a half day.
They had a half day. That's why we did this. That's right, at this time. And I want to salute her parents, who live in Paterson as well, Wayne and Peggy Long. They live on Durham Avenue, and they told Kathleen she could not leave until their road got repaved, and that was done in the fall. You're very welcome. Any other employee that lives in Paterson who wants to leave, and you want your road repaved, come and see me after the program. But I think it's only fitting that we start off our festivities today with our designated national anthem singer here at Hinchliffe Stadium. He was the lead singer for the Copacetics. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and please rise. We're not talking about Aaron Judge, Yankee fans. For Mr. Leon Moses. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for a rampart we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave the rout through the night as our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land and of the free and the home of the brave?
See what I mean? So if you have a birthday party or any type of celebration, Mr. Moses, and let me please be seated. Let me tell you a little bit something about Leon Moses. We go way back, right, Leon?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And Leon is the head of security here at Hinchliffe Stadium. But this wasn't just about reviving the Field of Dreams, Ingrid, the real Field of Dreams. We also built affordable housing for senior citizens. Leon Moses lives in one of those apartments in the complex here at Hinchliffe, so he literally walks to work every day. No, Leon?
I drive.
Oh, come on, Leon, you're doing that. Come on. Come on, one more round of applause for Mr. Leon Moses. You can also catch him at New Jersey Jackals games. So we have a lineup assembled here, sort of like the one the Mets have. I'm going to keep making references there. Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, the list goes on and on. Leading off for our team is our corporation counsel, who just created the Kathleen M. Long Fan Club. He's the president, treasurer, and secretary. Let's put your hands together for Mr. Eamon Abushi. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
I know you're the vice president.
That's right.
So one of the things that I asked the mayor before we got started today was what? What did I ask you over there? Do you remember?
That was for lunch.
That was Javier.
Okay.
I asked you if this would be recorded and televised.
That's right.
And what did you say?
I said yes. Yes.
So that severely impacted and limited what I could say.
That was good.
We'll talk.
Keep it
We'll
PG.
talk. We'll
Our
talk.
kids are here. PG.
And so I remember when the mayor first introduced me to Kathleen, he introduced her as, "This is Mrs. Wright." And Kathleen leaned in and said, "My first name is always." So I knew I was in
that conversation.
it from there.
We recorded that conversation.
Yeah, she reminds me all the time. So, there's not many things that I can say that has not already been said. I mean, who has it better than you? BA in your hometown,
Yes.
your fingerprints are all over. The magnificent upgrades of this city, the legacy of this city. Other than that, there's not more publicly I can say about our relationship, except there was a lot of laughter, there was some crying, mostly by you, a little bit from me. We went through ups and downs in city council meetings, but as I thought about what I might say today, and knowing that I can't say a lot of things, I said, you know what, let me look to the Irish. Because the Irish have,
Yes.
a way of saying things. And what more appropriate than to look at Irish poems and Irish blessings?
Yes.
So the Irish have a very interesting way of saying and doing things. For example, I Googled Irish goodbyes. And there was about a page of death and destruction. And apparently, goodbyes to the Irish mean death in many ways. So I said, no, I can't go with that. So I went to the page 4 or 5 of Google. And I found some stuff that I think is appropriate. I found things and literally a blessing called short and sweet. May the roof above us never fall in, and those gathered beneath it never fall out. I was like, wow, that's an interesting one. Very simple, right? May the roof never fall in. And then I came upon one dealing with enemies. And it goes, may those who love you, and those who don't love you, may God turn their hearts. And if he doesn't turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles, so you'll know them by their limping. Appropriate, right, man? After today, we'll probably see some people limping. We know where to find them
Yes,
there.
please.
So, moving on from that, I found one about fortune, and I thought it was particularly appropriate. And it goes, may your home be filled with laughter. May your pockets be filled with gold. And may you have all the happiness your Irish heart can hold. And I thought that was particularly telling and appropriate here because you really do deserve all the happiness that your heart can hold. You've been through a lot here, you've sacrificed a lot, and you've done a lot. But there's more. There's another one that says, remember to forget. And it goes, always remember to forget the troubles that passed away. But never forget to remember the blessings that come each day. And so, again, with what you've been able to do for your hometown, for your city, despite the ups and the downs and the tribulations that you've gone through, I hope you remember to forget those things and think about the beautiful blessings that you have every day, from your family to your husband to your children, to the legacy that you leave in this city. And there's a few more, and then I'll be done.
That's fine.
The next
You guys
one.
are until 3.
The next one says, "He who eats hummus is always happy." No, that's a Palestinian. That's a Palestinian one. I'm sorry.
That's true.
Must have been hungry when I wrote this down. It was about lunchtime.
My wife reminds me of it.
And I don't need to remind you about the legacy and relationship between the Irish people and the Palestinian people. And may God bless the Irish people for always standing up for truth and justice. And so, I'll end it with this one, which I think is particularly appropriate. Lucky stars above you, sunshine on your way. Many friends to love you, joy in work and play. Laughter to outweigh each care, in your heart a song. And gladness waiting everywhere, all your whole life long. So Kathleen Long, congratulations.
Yes.
I hope you look back at your time in the city and see the amazing things that you've done and how you've set the city up for success. It was a pleasure working for you, and I'm honored to call you a friend. Congratulations.
For the record, I've been going to a physical therapist for the past 6 years for my ankles. Not quite sure. That's true, I got bad ankles. I also want to note that in 2019, for the first time when we raised the Irish flag on St. Patrick's Day, I named Kathleen Long the Hibernian of the Year. She was the inaugural Hibernian of the Year, so many have followed her, but she's a tough act to follow as far as a Hibernian is concerned, because she got herself an Irish husband. How are your ankles there, Kevin?
Pristine.
Okay. Before I call on our next speaker, I do also want to reflect that when Kathleen started, she was my chief of staff. And she was very passionate about parks, being a mom, homeowner in the city of Paterson. And the first grant, thank you, Andrea, was the grant that was a 10-minute walk campaign, which said that every Patersonian should have a park within a 10-minute walk of his or her home. And here we are $116 million later of investing in improving our parks, our athletic fields, our playgrounds, which is a testament, it's all a testament to the enduring legacy and leadership of Kathleen Long. Hinchliffe Stadium couldn't have happened without her. Eastside Park and now Westside Park is going to be underway on Monday. We're going to break ground, right, Mr. President? Mr. President. And so Kathleen wanted to make sure that families didn't have to go too far to take their kids to play somewhere safe. They can go right here in the city. And so again, it's a credit to Kathleen. At this time, a gentleman who's been, you can applaud this one. A gentleman who's been a partner in progress, who's helped us advance the agenda, particularly as president for the last 2 years, helping us, right, Javier, get items on the consent agenda. Council President Alex Mendez.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Got it done. Thank you. What a beautiful
What time did you
afternoon.
work out this morning?
Well, at 6 o'clock in the morning. I continue asking the mayor to join me at the gym. To be he's not a morning person, but I understand that. What a phenomenal day today. It is also a very sad day because I could openly say that, even though we're going to be live on TV very soon.
Please.
But I could openly say that Madam BA and I, we used to stay together till 2 o'clock in the morning sometime at the city council. I know you're not going to miss those meetings, those long meetings anymore. But it's been a great pleasure to be with you. We have a remarkable leader, Kathleen Long. She's been working day and night since you took the position as a BA. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you. And to the family, thank you for sharing Kathleen with us, because I know it was a difficult job in some situation, but we worked together so well. And we accomplished a lot. I definitely have to say this, and I make a recommendation to the administration, and I will put that item on the next meeting. And it's to make sure that every project that we approve have a plaque with the administration, the council member, and that also plaque have to include the name of Kathleen Long, because you did a lot for the city. Let's put our hands together for BA. I wish you the best of luck on your future endeavor. I know you're gonna do great. You work hard and you love what you do. And we all know that when you love what you do, you never work one day in your life. And you have a lot of passion. This is your city. You're not going anywhere. You might go to Trento, but you're going to stay in Paterson. And your family, they're my constituent as well. They're on Avenue. Brand new road, totally repainted, Mayor. So brand new, the Ron Avenue is totally brand new, but we're gonna continue doing the work for the city. Paterson is an amazing city, and you have done a lot. I just came here to say thank you. I cannot miss this event, not because of the food, by the way, because I hear real life, but just because of you. Today is your day, and we honor you. And I just want to say thank you. Just keep doing your work, your family. I know you, mom and dad, I know you're very proud of your daughter, because she do work hard, and she is really strong. She never back down.
Yes.
All right, she's a fighter, and since the beginning, when we start working together as council president, we have an amazing relationship, and we accomplish a lot. God bless you, and thank you so very much.
Wow.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Council President. I'll meet you in the gym tomorrow at 6. What do you think? I want to look like you when I grow up, Council President. I want to appreciate your words, especially on behalf of the Municipal Council. And Madam VA, he almost didn't make it, but he said that I have to be here for Kathleen. It's a true story. I think you exceeded the speed limit on Route 80, but he made it here.
And I
It's
didn't
fine.
have a ticket. So.
You didn't get a ticket because OIC Murray's here, and so Jerry's easy out. Our next speaker has a special presentation. He's actually the gentleman that introduced me to the star that was born on February 16th, 19 something or another. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Founder, CEO of NJCDC, Mr. Bob Garachi. Bob Paterson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. When the mayor told me that this would be going on today, Kathleen, I said I had to be here. And Kathleen, I wanted to be here to thank you not only for the work that you do each and every day and have done for all these years in City Hall, making city government work, but also for the things that you're doing behind your desk that people don't see, that make this a better city for organizations like NJCDC and other nonprofits who have a heavy lift serving the people here in this city. I first met you in the nonprofit sector, working with NJCDC and in the other organizations, Oasis, and I'm forgetting, but you made your impact in the nonprofit sector. You stole her, Mayor,
I did.
from the nonprofit sector. And I think that shows where your heart is. You came back to Paterson in order to serve. And you did that initially in the nonprofit sector, and then you moved to City Hall. In a way, I'm sorry you moved to City Hall, especially those nights when it would be 2 in the morning and I couldn't sleep, and I'd turn on YouTube and you were still there at 1, 2, and 3 in the morning. I just couldn't believe it. But that is emblematic of your perseverance and of your dedication and really the love that you have for this city and all of its residents. And so on behalf of NJCDC, and on behalf, I think, of the broader nonprofit community, if you don't mind coming up for a moment.
I like that. Oh, let me see that, Bob. Whoa.
We have what else? A picture of the falls. To Kathleen Long, thank you for your dedication to the city of Paterson and to organizations like NJCDC. We are grateful for your leadership and for your assistance. Congratulations.
We only have about 20 more speakers left. Like I said, we're here till 3 o'clock.
3 a.m.
Yes, 3 a.m. It's a council. It's not Tuesday, but we'll go till Tuesday. Our next speaker is someone that Kathleen and I have a strong affinity for. In fact, we affectionately refer to her as Aunt Barbara. A woman whom many of you may not know, but does so much for the city of Paterson through the Henry and Marilyn Taub Foundation. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't have Ed Bosey if it weren't for the Taub Foundation. And they've supported so many initiatives, whether it's Sustainable Jersey in our city, a chief data officer, remember Harsha, compliments of the Taub Foundation. And so we compliment the next speaker for her leadership and her friendship Aunt Barbara Lawrence from the Tap Company.
You know, this is a little scary because I went to the Hinchliffe dedication where there's speakers lasted much longer than the audience. I mean, I remember that day.
That was true. I do too. It was
Yeah.
May 19th to the 20th.
It was bad.
It was.
So I hadn't planned to speak. So he's already adding on people. If he wanders away, don't let him.
No.
Don't want him.
That's
Just
it.
really ask him to
That's
speak.
it. That's it.
Let me just tell you.
You're the penultimate speaker.
I'm good. Kathleen, let me just tell you about foundations first of all. Yes, we decide where we want to spend some money. We try to make the world a better place. Not as good as you, because I can't sing.
Leon.
But what our money is only as good as the people that we give it to. And we have to have confidence that it's going to be well spent. And the things that we do here in Paterson and elsewhere are those things that get implemented well. And we counted on Kathleen. Andre.
You're still counting.
Yes, we're still counting on Andre, on Kathleen. Yeah, you too. But you know, you have good ideas, but somebody needs to implement those ideas. And Rose Harvey, who is not here today, who you spoke of West Side Park coming up on
She was there yesterday.
Okay.
She got like a stomach bug. If you were in that meeting yesterday, you might want to. Anyway,
So we were happy to fund Rose to come to Paterson. And all she said to me was, well, I'm counting on Kathleen. So all the parks that are getting done, the things that Barber and West Side and
Vera
Ames, that New City Parks has worked on, Kathleen has made those things happen. So to circle back to what you said, and many of the other grants too. So we counted on Kathleen. We could give money to anybody. But you have to give money to people who you have confidence in who will implement. And Kathleen has done that with fidelity here. So I have no Irish blessings. I love those. But thank you, Kathleen. And I know about your 3 o'clock in the mornings, but I didn't email you at those hours. Thank you. And have a wonderful time in Trenton. And come home.
she will. Don't give us an Irish goodbye right there. I saw that. You look like a Yankee fan after Game 5, 5th inning. Sorry, Jason, I knew you were listening. Sorry. Also want to remind you, one of Kathleen's favorite restaurants in Paterson, one of the best restaurants on the planet, Toro's. We catered it from there. So after the program, please stay for not only lunch, but a show. There's an 8-minute movie that we'd like everybody to see that tells the story of the stadium and this museum. Yes, it's this way. Yes, there you go. I could tell a story about that, but no. As far as speakers are concerned, last but certainly not least, we wanted to hear from somebody from the Long family, someone who's known her for a long time. And I'm proud of this young man. He's a sportscaster. And one day I want to tune in and see him standing next to Tom Brady calling a Super Bowl, or maybe even SNY with Gary Cohen. So this young man, locally, is a superstar broadcaster. He goes by Dan in Demand. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll see that's why he has a face for television. Put your hands together for Dan Long. Please, Daniel.
This was impromptu. I'm not used to working with microphones. So, well, once the mayor said, "Would you like to say some words?" I said, "Absolutely. I'm always up for a good old-fashioned roast of my sister." So, but in all honesty, one of the quotes that I always love to live by is from Thomas Jefferson, who arch rival of Alexander Hamilton. So we'll give him the okay for that at this point. Is that I'm a great believer in luck. The harder I work, the more I have. So if that were the case with my sister, then she would absolutely be the luckiest person, because she has always been the example of being the hardest worker in the room, no matter what. If she has her head set on something, she's going to accomplish it. And if not, she's going to run right past you and over you if that's the case. So she's always been someone that I've looked up to and admired. And she's been that force that has always been loyal, has always been about Paterson when, quite frankly, we would all be looking at her and saying, why? Why give this much when she could be working elsewhere? She could be doing much more in terms of even getting paid more, but she was always set about coming back home, making the city a better place, doing something for people who need that help, to need that voice for someone who doesn't have a voice for themselves. So we've always long admired you, Kath, for what you've been able to do, what you continue to do, and what you have waiting for you down the line. And quite frankly, as someone who's used to broadcasting sporting events, there was no better drama than watching TV on a Tuesday night and watching these city council meetings. And with all of that, it was tough for us sometimes, honestly, but we always knew that she had the most integrity and she would stand true to her values. And again, while she might have to take stuff, she was doing it for the good of the city. And she was doing it for the good of people who, again, did not have an opportunity to be there and have a voice and to work hard. And that's something that she'll take in wherever she goes in life. She's done that as a big sister for me and for Kevin, my brother, for a younger sister, for our older brother, Dave, who couldn't be here, is an amazing mom for Cormac and Saoirse, and an aunt for all of her nephews and nephews, I should say. And again, she is the example that we set ourselves to. And whether it be a Sunday afternoon when she comes over to a house and she's there working to do something for Paterson rather than just hanging out with all of us derelicts and doing nothing, she was the one that she was going to be doing the work because she wanted to get that work done. So again, in this day, it's a great celebration for someone that we all know and love, and we know that she's always been able to do this for our family, and the family extended to the rest of the city of Paterson. So congratulations, Kath, on this day. Congratulations on what you've been able to do here and give back to Paterson. And Silk City is always going to be much better for you, having been here and having worked. So thank you everybody for coming here and celebrating with us. And Paterson's own, and someone we all long to be like, is Kathleen Long. So congratulations.
Can't you say, we want to see Dan on ESPN. What do you think, guys? Come on. Please. Before the presentation, I want to direct my comments to Kathleen's parents. I want to thank you for raising Kathleen the right way. I want to thank you for shaping her to be the woman that she is. Conscientious, compassionate, and above everything, loyal. That's hard to come by these days, but that's what your daughter Kathleen is. She's conscientious, compassionate, most importantly, loyal. So I'm glad that through all those hours of labor that you struggled with on February 16th, you gave us Kathleen Long. And I want to also thank her husband for allowing us, for at least the last 6+ years, to have Kathleen's time, her talent, and some of her treasure as well. I know it wasn't easy for you to watch some of those city council meetings. I'm sure you wanted to get in your car, drive down, and put your hands on somebody. Or twist some ankles, if that's the case. But thank you, Kevin. Thank you. And lastly, to her son and daughter, Cormac, Saoirse. I want you to remember this day, and if you don't, we are recording it, Amy. You have a remarkable mother. You can't pick who your parents are, but you've been blessed to have someone like your mom. She is a real role model, and I've said it before, she's an MVP. She's the most valuable parent, above being the most valuable Patersonian. And so I want Cormac and Saoirse to have this etched in your memories forever, to remember that your mom was a loyal friend to the mayor of Paterson, and she was a humble and hardworking servant for the residents of this city, your hometown as well. So Kathleen, I wish I could give you a Purple Heart for what you did or what you have done. But what I can give you is the highest honor that the mayor could ever bestow on any citizen here in Paterson. And so, as someone who's a loyal, longtime friend, I'm proud to present to you the key to the city. The floor is yours. You stand in the way of us in lunch, so don't be long, Kathleen.
Well, it really is so very wonderful, if a bit overwhelming, to see all of you here today and to listen to the words of the mayor and all the people who came before. But thank you for sharing in the celebration of the great city of Paterson and the administration of Mayor Andre Saya, because serving this mayor and the residents of this city has been the greatest challenge and the highest honor of my life. Before I reflect further, and because the mayor expects this, I want to share a poem that's very special to me, where the author, Greek poet C.P. Cavafy, evokes Homer's Odyssey. As you set out for Ithaca, hope your road is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. Latrygonians, Cyclops, angry Poseidon, don't be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way, as long as you keep your thoughts raised high, as long as a rare excitement stirs your spirit and body. Latrygonians, Cyclops, wild Poseidon, you won't encounter them unless you bring them along inside your soul, unless your soul sets them up in front of you. Hope your road is a long one. May there be many summer mornings when, with what pleasure, what joy, you enter harbors you're seeing for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to learn and go on learning from their scholars. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you're destined for, but don't hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years, so you're old by the time you reach the island, wealthy with all you've gained on the way, not expecting Ithaca to make you rich. Ithaca gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you wouldn't have set out. She has nothing left to give you now. And if you find her poor, Ithaca won't have fooled you. Wise as you have become, so full of experience, you'll have understood by then what these Ithacas mean. The road has indeed been a long one, full of adventure and discovery, but also accomplishment. The most notable success stories have been with the help of friends. With support from the Tao Foundation and Bloomberg Philanthropies, we have harnessed the power of innovation and data. With partners like New City Parks, NJCDC, Passaic County Habitat, Green Acres, and the National Park Service, along with the amazing work of our Public Works and Engineering team. We are well on our way to transforming a park system with over $100 million in investments, delivering on a promise to families throughout the city. And we stand in this space, a result of partners like Montclair State University, Charles Muth, NJEDA, BEAW Development, another $100 million in investment in the youth and families and the history of Paterson. With NJDCA by our side, we have not only been able to pay our bills, but improve our systems and invest in our infrastructure, from facilities to vehicles, to support both our employees and our residents. We have remained resident-focused with programs concentrated on financial empowerment, re-entering the workforce, battling opioid use with science, and promoting a guaranteed income. All work that complements the amazing programming of both our departments and the nonprofit community, from Oasis to CUMAC and our faith-based partners. With thanks to the City Council, we have made great progress year by year, knowing there is still work to be done. These accomplishments, these partnerships, are the mother of pearl and coral, the amber and the ebony. Arriving there is what you're destined for, but don't hurry the journey at all. It's the journey, not the destination, a common phrase, but a true one. For it was the behind-the-scenes work over these 6.5 years that was as important and meaningful to me as the shiny programs and investments. Managing spending and passing budgets, finding ways to stretch the resources we have, using technology like the new payroll and personnel system to become more efficient, creating spreadsheets for use long after I'm gone. The little victories of nerdy, policy-based government, all dirty words these days in this political climate, but the lifeblood of my service, my calling. And here I want to thank my colleagues from the mayor, CFO, corporation counsel, all the department directors who are with us, the innovation team, my former colleagues, and so many others who joined me in this aspect of the journey and helped me learn and go on learning. Lystrogonians, Cyclops, angry Poseidon, don't be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way as long as you keep your thoughts raised high, as long as a rare excitement stirs your spirit and your body. So I'm sure you've heard of Cyclops and angry Poseidon, the Greek god of the ocean. But the Lystrogonians were a tribe of man-eating giants. Grateful that was one challenge that we didn't have to face over these 6.5 years, but we have made it through our fair share of tough times. COVID that ravaged our community and our whole concept of government service, and which still affects our city budget today, 5 years later. The constant fiscal challenges that somehow and sometimes feel insurmountable and require creativity, sometimes bumping up against that idea of how it's always been done. A political climate where opponents are enemies and disagreements are personal, and sometimes even personal attacks, week after week for 5 years. Regular disinformation and misinformation in public forums and social media where facts matter less than being loud. As in the poem, I tried to keep my thoughts raised high. And when I no longer could, more often than not, I knew it was time to pass the baton and let someone else continue this important work. Ithaca gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you wouldn't have set out. She has nothing left to give you now. And if you find her poor, Ithaca won't have fooled you, wise as you will have become, so full of experience. You'll have understood by then what these Ithacas mean. Ithaca was the island home of Odysseus, but Paterson is my home. It's the home of my parents, Wayne and Peggy. I am grateful for their love, constant support, and example of self-sacrifice and service over the years. My brothers, David, Daniel, and Kevin, and I were all formed by Paterson. My husband, Kevin Acton, and my kids, Cormac and Saoirse, now feel the same passion for Paterson and have sacrificed much for this city, their home, with me so often not at all. I leave Paterson's direct service with a certain type of wisdom and certainly full of experience. But with deep respect to the author, I disagree that she, Paterson, has nothing left to give me now. Her diverse people continue to inspire, her history continues to educate, and her future continues to motivate. I will continue to work for her in new ways, and on Monday, I start this next leg of the journey and await the next harbor. Mayor, thank you for your friendship, your belief in me, and the responsibility you placed on my shoulders. Thank you for this kindness today, even if I do tell you that you give out way too many keys. I hope the road is a long one. Keep Paterson always in your mind. Thank you again.
Kathleen about the key. It doesn't open anything in City Hall. We already changed the locks to your But here, she gave me this poem, and I really appreciate it, because now I'm thinking about, so if you've ever been to my office, Bob Garashi decorated my office, like every poster he's ever made. But there are two that Bob Garashi didn't have anything to do with. One is this. It's friendship for sign language, in sign language. And the other one says, make things happen. And Kathleen, that's what we did. We made things happen. Thank you very much. All right, let's please join me in the theater. Go watch the movie, and then we have some lunch. And I want to thank Eli Manning for joining us today. I'm sorry about your Hall of Fame snub. He's right there. I want to acknowledge the general manager of Hinchliffe Stadium, Brian Verhessel. Yes, thank you. So you do know we have a professional baseball team that plays here. We lured them from Little Falls. They played at Montclair State's Yogi Berra Stadium. The New Jersey Jackals will be entering their 3rd season here at Hinchliffe Stadium. But we're also encouraged that in April 5th to be exact, a women's professional tackle football team will be playing their home games here at Hinchliffe Stadium, the Jersey Shore Wave. And since soccer is so popular, much to my chagrin, I'm sorry, when we grew up, that wasn't the football we played, dipped up. We're in the process of trying to get not one, but 2 professional soccer teams to play here, a men's team and a women's team at Hinchliffe Stadium. And they're going to be called the Silk City Kathleens. I didn't tell you that. All right.
Black Americans always played baseball, but they couldn't play everywhere. They were locked out of many playing fields simply because of the color of their skin. But there were places they could go and watch and even play in and celebrate heroes from their community. And one of them was Hinchliffe Stadium right here in Paterson, New Jersey. From the stadium's opening in 1932 through the 1940s, Negro League teams played here.
There were 2 places where black folks gathered in places like Paterson and across America. One was church on Sunday, and the other was the ball field.
Hinchliffe hosted the Colored Championship of the Nation in 1933. It later served as home of the New York Black Yankees and the New York Cubans. The greats played at Hinchliffe: Josh Gibson, Cool Papa Bell, Monty Irvin, Larry Doby, and others.
Negro League Baseball is a shining example of American ingenuity. It's like, you don't want us to play with you? Okay, we'll make our own league.
That was Black America's entertainment. It was them all about baseball and all about sports. And it helped the country move along to learn that we were talented as well if only given the opportunity.
A lot of what gets written about race in America has to do with the suffering, the oppression, the injustice that black people have suffered. There's not enough focus on the sense of enterprise and community and joy just in, that black folks felt in being in each other's company. Well, that's what you would have seen at Hinchliffe Stadium and at black ballparks across America.
More than 20 future Hall of Famers played at Hinchliffe, including a native of Paterson, Larry Doby. He starred in baseball, football, and basketball for East Side High School.
Hinchliffe is instrumental to my father because that's where coaches first took an interest in him and encouraged him and told him that he could do something with his life.
Larry Doby went on to be the second black American to play in the major leagues, right after Jackie Robinson. He was the first to play in the American League, signed by the Cleveland Indians in 1947, and became a 7-time All-Star. He never forgot his Paterson roots.
He belongs in the pantheon of great Patersonians, dating back to the guy who founded the city, Alexander Hamilton. The fact that he remained connected and committed to being a role model in his hometown, his home city, inspired generations after him.
Hinchliffe Stadium, named after former Mayor John Hinchliffe, was built in 1932 during the Depression for the Paterson School District. 10,000 people could fit in its Art Deco whitewashed concrete walls.
Hinchliffe Stadium is really where the city came together. This is where they met, not only for sporting events, social events, union events. It was everything. It was about a 15-minute walk for about 70% of the population.
There was midget car racing, boxing, concerts from the Andrews Sisters. to Duke Ellington, to Sly and the Family Stone. And a famous son of Paterson, Lou Costello, who performed there, asking, who was on first?
The fellow playing first base for St. Louis. Who? The guy on first base. Who is on first? Well, what are you asking me for?
And every Thanksgiving, thousands came out for the football game between the inner-city high school rivals East Side and Central, now named John F. Kennedy. It was the game of the year for Patersonians and Larry Doby.
He would always talk about playing football on Thanksgiving Day against Paterson Central at Hinchliffe Stadium when the whole city stopped and everybody came to watch.
I couldn't put a number on it, but it was always packed. I mean, it was always standing room. They had to stop selling tickets. People were trying to sneak in. It was that type of game.
And then, beginning in the 1960s, factories began to close in the Northeast and Midwest. This deindustrialization hit Paterson hard. The city struggled and its infrastructure suffered.
The jobs aren't there, the funding isn't there, and it sort of became a perfect storm.
In 1996, Hinchliffe Stadium closed and fell into disrepair. Paterson lost a bit of its pride. And now the comeback. A $100 million rebuild of Hinchliffe was completed in the spring of 2023. It includes a children's center, senior housing, parking, and the Charles J. Muth Museum to recognize and honor Hinchliffe Stadium's rich history.
Hinchliffe Stadium!
Hinchliffe Stadium is the only baseball field in a national park, the historic Great Falls Park.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back for it.
The hope of this stadium is that it will inspire the rebirth of Paterson, and it doesn't get better in terms of a comeback story.
1, 2, 3, you're out at the old baseball game.
I think it's about imagining the future partly by revisiting the past. You know, not every city in America has the building blocks of the kind of revival that you could have here in Paterson.
To be up with the crowd, find me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the whole.
I think he would be very proud and very happy to know that it's coming back, that it's being restored, and that the youth of Paterson would get the same opportunities and learn the same lessons that he learned at that field.
Never get back, for it's